What's next then for those still seeking to challenge other provisions of the anti-terror law? That big question and more with one of the petitioners against the measure, former Integrated Bar of the Philippines President, Atty. Domingo Egon Cayosa. Atty. Cayosa, welcome to the big story.
Good evening, Robbie, and good evening to your listeners and viewers.
So, Atty. Cayosa, para po sa mga nag-challenge dito sa anti-terror law, is this a net victory or is it a net disappointment?
A very limited victory, and I personally am disappointed that the more controversial provisions that we question as being unconstitutional were not declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court.
Which in particular still gives everybody fits and that you feel is still very important to challenge?
One is the very broad definition of what a terroristic act is. Secondly, the undue giving of power to the Anti-Terrorism Council to authorize the warrantless arrest of individuals. Third is the detention of suspects for up to 24 days when the Constitution, even in extreme situations where the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus is suspended, it only gives government 3 days and they have to be charged. So these are the more controversial provisions. The other one, of course, are those provisions that allow the government to conduct surveillance on mere suspicion, and also freezing of assets of persons suspected of being terrorists ex parte. So these are to my mind, the more controversial provisions, and they were largely left untouched by the Supreme Court, meaning to say they were not declared unconstitutional.
Now, pending continuing challenges and motions for reconsideration, what is the status of the law right now? And government is saying, baka pwede natin daanan ngayon yan. We'll take it. They're saying 58 provisions, constitutional naman, 2 unconstitutional. We're expecting challenges. And government is now saying, baka naman pwedeng daanan natin sa IRR yan. What is the status of the law right now, and to all intents and purposes, what can government do with it?
Well, the government cannot correct the provisions declared unconstitutional by mere IRR. The law has to be amended, but if Congress doesn't wish to amend the law, then those 2 provisions which were declared unconstitutional are invalid. But of course, most of the provisions of the law were left untouched. They were not declared unconstitutional, so government at this point can continue implementing those provisions of the Anti-Terrorism Act.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Atty. Egon Cayosa.